Hello guys, welcome. This is Deepika from MyTutorialRack.com. Now in the previous tutorial, we have set up our first menu option, which is create a new case. Now in this particular tutorial, we are going to set up our second menu option, which is check my case status. So on the left hand side, I clicked on check my case status, and what we are going to do in this menu option is a bot is going to ask the first question that's going to ask is tell your case number. Okay, or enter your case number, and customer is going to enter the case number, and then what will happen is we are going to invoke an Apex class, and I'll show you the code for the Apex class also, and that Apex class takes in this parameter of case number and basically gives you the case status, and that case status we are going to display on to the screen. That is what are we going to do in our second menu option here. So what I'm going to do is, first thing is I'm going to deactivate this particular bot, because as long as your bot is active, you cannot make any changes. Okay, so the first thing is I'm going to deactivate it. So I'll go over to check my case status, and we will go back here, and let's go ahead and cross this thing, and we are going to add a static question here. And what is the question? Enter your case number. And then what we'll do is the user is going to enter the case number. What should be the format? It should be text, so we'll choose text here. And then what is the variable? So now you have two options. You can either create a new variable to store the case number, or you can use the variable that we created in the previous menu action, which is this one, case number. So what I'm going to do is I will be using the same one, and then it is asking if the variable already contains a value, skip the question and use existing value, or ask the question and override the value. So let's say what happens is you created two menu options, and in the first menu option you are asking the customer for first name, and in the second menu option also you have the same question. But now let's say the user came from first menu option over to the second menu option, and he already answered that question, what is your first name? So it's going to be a bad user experience to ask the user to enter the first name again in the second menu option. So if the user has already answered the question, you want to make sure you skip that and you don't give the question in the second menu option also. Okay, so that is what it is going to do. If the variable already contains a value, it will skip the question and use the existing values. But in this case, whatever the user has entered previously, we still want the user to enter the own case number, so I'm going to use the second option here. Now this is our first question. Let's go ahead and hit the save, and then what we're going to do is we are going to invoke our Apex class. Now before I invoke my Apex class, I have to create my Apex class. So this is where my Apex class is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create a brand new Apex class. I'll go back to the developer console here, and we will create file new Apex class, and this is the check case status, and this is my complete class that I'm going to do. And basically, in simple words, all this class is doing is it fetches the statuses for the given case numbers, and it returns you those case numbers. Okay, that is what it does. And the first thing is what we have done is we have created, you can rewrite this class as you want, but this is what I'm using here. What it does is, this is the name of the class. Inside of this, I have created two class again. One is to store the output, and the other one is for the input. Inside of this class, I've created a simple variable of the type string. The name of the variable is case status, because what we are doing is we want to return the case statuses for the given case number. I've created a method here. We'll call this as check case status. This is the method called get case status here, and it takes in one parameter of the type case input. What is case input? Case input has one variable of the type string, which is case number. Okay, so the first thing what we are doing is we are getting the order numbers from the input. So we are fetching whatever the customer has entered, even though customer is only going to enter one case at a time, but we are imagining that if the customer has entered multiple cases, all we are doing is we are adding all these cases one by one and we are making this case number. Then we are adding all the case numbers together, then we are doing a simple select statement and we are passing in all these case numbers and it is going to give you a list of cases. And then what we're doing is from this list of cases we are creating a map. Okay, and the map is of which type? Map of order numbers and the order status values, basically the case number and the case stat value. We are creating a map here. Then what we're doing, build a list of order status values for the output. Now we need to return all these statuses back, right? And let's say if the user has entered a wrong case number, we want to tell it's a wrong case number or case not found. So what we did is we created a map here and now we are building a list of order status for the output, because in the output we are just going to be returning the list of status. Now within that map, if that particular case number exists, we will return the case status, and if it doesn't exist, then we'll say case not found. And then we are adding all these outputs together. Output is nothing but bunch of statuses together and we are returning that case outputs. Okay, simple. This is our Apex class. It takes in a list of case numbers and it returns you list of statuses. But while we are using the bot, we are only going to be passing one case number and it is only going to be returning you a status for that particular case number. Okay, this is my Apex class I've created, and my invocable value here is, if you go here, this is called check case status. Now if I go back to my Einstein bot here and let's say we refresh this, that Apex class will show up. Okay, so make sure you refresh it. And here we are doing plus, and now in the previous section we used the flow, now we are using Apex here, and action name is which one? Check case status. There's already another one, but that is a different one I had. This is for check case status, and what it requires a case number. And where is the case number stored? Case number is stored here. We created that variable, right? So case number is stored here and it is going to give you an output of case status. Now to store the output, I'm going to create a variable and I'll call it as case status. And this is the API name, case underscore status. Now whatever the output is, we are going to display a message and we are going to say your case status is, and then we are going to do an exclamation, and this is the field. And where do you get the field here? From this previous, if the variable that we created, this is the one, and hit the save. So now a message will be displayed. Now where I got this case status? Simple. I went over here. I created a new variable called case status, case space status. So the API name is case underscore status. Okay. Now once we did that, we are going to activate it and now we will preview it. So preview, rich content preview, select an option, bot enabled, and then agent is offline, chat with an expert. We'll enter something here and start chatting. So now let's grab a case number. Okay, so let's say we are grabbing this case number, and what is the case status for this one? It's new. You can see here, or let me just go back to home. And let's go over to cases. We'll go over to cases here. And let's say this is the one. And let's say we change the status from new to escalated. And let's go ahead and save this. And let's copy this case number. And now we'll go back to our bot here. And it's asking check my case status. Now the first question it's going to give you is enter your case number, and I'm going to provide this, and now it's going to fetch me the case status and it says escalated. Okay, so now this is working fine. Now if you want to do another example, we can end this, close this chat with an expert again, and we will go ahead and do a start chatting here, and again we will do a check my case status, and this time I'm going to just give some random case number. Okay, now this case number, it's not there. So I should get an output of what? I should get an output of case not found. This is the output I'm looking for, case not found. If that particular case number doesn't exist, I'm going to hit enter, and it could not find this case number. So it is saying case not found. Okay, so this check my case status as well as create new cases, both the menu options are fully set up now. From the first option, which is create a new case, we understood how to invoke a flow, and then through the second one we understood how to invoke an apex class. Okay, and this is your Einstein bot is ready. Now there is an issue here. Let's say if the user has already gone through a menu, you should also give an option to end the chat, or you can take it to another menu option, or you can do it another dialogue, things like that, right? So how do we do all of this? So let's say the next step, once the case status is already given, what should be the next step? So when you click here, next step, you get these multiple options: wait for customer input, show a menu, start another dialogue, or next one is transfer to an agent. Now let's say right now we are not transferring to the agent, but let's say you want to start another dialogue here, or you want to give another menu options. Okay, so let's say menu option to end the chat or to transfer to an agent. Let's say you want to do these kind of menu options. You can do that by, first we will deactivate it because you cannot make it changes on an active Einstein bot. And then once the user has already gotten the case status, what does he want to do? Now show a menu. What kind of menu you want to show? Do you want to show the main menu? Main menu is exactly those two ones, check my case status and check my case number. We can do that. We can transfer it to an agent if you want. We can end the chat. Let's say we want to show this particular menu option of ending the chat here, or we can show main menu. Let's say we showed a main menu. Okay, that is going to be displayed. Main menu would be displayed. And let's say we can do end chat also here. That is another option that we will give. And the third one is transfer to an agent. Let's say we do all three options in the next test status once the case status is already given. So now we'll go ahead and save it and activate it and preview it as rich content preview. Now what happens? Sometimes it takes a while to get the preview, so don't worry. Click on this minus, chat with an expert. Now if I give a case status, so let's say we first selected the case status. Now this next option is under the case status menu, okay, not under the create new case. So we'll select, our first thing is check my case status. Then I'm going to provide a case number. Let's say this is the case number 1026. And then we will go back here and provide this case number, and it is going to give you the case status. And once it gives you the case status, now you see main menu, end chat, and transfer to the agent. Now end chat, you know it's going to end the chat. Main menu is going to be what? Main menu is going to be these two options: create a new case, check my case status. So now you know what you have to do. Like, what is the next step once the bot has answered the question? Do you want to transfer that to an agent? Do you want to end this chat? What do you want to do? So that also you can set up through this next step. So in the next tutorial, we'll continue our understanding on these Einstein bots. So I'm going to see you in the next tutorial. Thank you very, very much.